Yippee! Welcome to, oh, whoops, I missed it. I missed the whole thing. Whew. Whew. We back. Look who it is over there. I believe, Tyler, say something again. We might have another little audio issue on your end. I can hear you just fine. I don't know if anyone in there can hear or not. So shout out in the live chat if Tyler is audible or not audible. And all right, and I'll get our producers on it real quick. He keeps saying, I hope that the producer can fix it soon, because he keeps saying over and over again, we in the FanDome, and I really don't know what to do with that. And I don't want to have to deal with him anymore. Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Super Squad D, where the D is going to stand for the Dome. He keeps yelling it in my ears. Please, somebody, anybody, give me something on there. Say something now, Tyler, and let's see what happens.
We in the FanDome!
Sadly enough, his audio is now fixed, and everyone, oh no, everyone has to deal with him. The cost of friendship with you, Tyler, is severe. But anyway, everyone. What was that?
That was my manly cough.
You remember the Community scene? I reference it often, where Troy sneezes and Pierce says, "Ha! Troy sneezes like a girl." And Troy goes, "Well, how about I pound you like a boy?" That came out wrong.
Yep, I totally
reference
remember it
far too much. All right, Tyler's back. He took a couple of sick days.
Yeah, a couple trips down to the bright light in the sky. So as I got closer, I started realizing, oh, it's so hot. Why is it so hot? So then I just kind of went the other direction with it.
Don't want it. I don't want this bright light anymore. This is not worth it. This is not worth it at all.
It's really hot.
Hey, everybody. Oh, it's good to have everyone. We've got a great crew in here already. We got Tyler C. I'm assuming that's Tyler Chew. It might be Tyler.
You don't know.
Chewbacca. I don't know. It could be his full last name. We got M. Scotter. We got Michael Allen. We got David Codd, who does point out, of course, we've got my terrible webcam that keeps flickering over and over again. I really need to buy a new webcam, it looks like.
In the FanDome!
Anyone just want to send me one? I'm too lazy. He pointed out that last week when we had our special guest Alex put his name down in one of our Jackbox games as Hin Tyler as his name. And I didn't know whether to destroy him or keep him around. Keith says that we should just go ahead and mute you again.
And we got Graham in the chat. Good to see everybody. Seems like everybody's here because they're just so excited about DC FanDome.
Where are we, Tyler? Where are we? If you had to describe where we are, where would we be tonight?
Oh, right now, I mean, everybody's probably at their own house, just chilling.
That's what I thought. So, DC FanDome brought us a whole bunch that we need to go ahead and just jump into.
It did. That's true.
We've got at least, I'm looking, our producers are telling me that we've got at least 4 different trailers to look at, 3 movies and a video game, as the old saying goes, 6 seasons and a movie. So we've got a lot to look at tonight. But before we get into that at all, Tyler, DC FanDome, you watched a significant chunk of it, I feel like. You kept up with a lot?
I watched all of it because I was super sick. and had nothing else to do. But I would have watched all of it, probably, maybe, had I not been. And, the thing that I found most interesting was leading up to the event, I was shocked by the fact that they actually had a lot of advertisements for this event on like TBS and other basic cable channels. Yeah. It really blew me away to think that we have come to a point where essentially like a comic book media convention style thing is getting this much popular attention, that they're advertising for it. I hope it was a success, because I would love to see them do this again and Marvel to replicate it. I thought it was awesome. Like just the idea and the concept.
I didn't watch any of it live. I was keeping up with stuff as it would come out. Some of the details, some of the trailers. I was just recapping more than anything. But I did see more than one articles, reaction videos that praised it for how well executed it was, and said that it's kind of set a gold standard for large virtual conferences, and I think that's pretty cool. Amazing. So the way of the future, maybe. The way of the future. Tyler Chu wants me to tell everyone how sick I was. There may or may not have been a time when I told him to take care of my family if I didn't make it. I cannot tell you how grateful I am that you did not ask me, someone that was very close to you, to have to take care of your family, because I would not have done it. It would have been. Just would have been on their own. And with that, let's just get into the first trailer, bro. Let's just jump right in. Why not? Which one you want to jump into first? Let me. Well, I would say we should jump into them in the order in which they were released in the FanDome. All right. Which was Wonder Woman starting first. Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. So for some reason, our screen share has paused on my screen. Yeah, I'm adjusting a setting here. Something has messed up, it looks like, with the window capture. So I want to make sure that I get it right before we Well, if it doesn't work on my screen, it's fine, as long as we can as long as the folks at home can see it. Yeah, no, they can't. That's what I'm trying to Okay. That's why I'm trying to fix it. Now I see the issue. Yep, exactly. I see the issue now. So, let me just pull this up real quick. Give me 1 second. Mr. Small throwing out love for all Tylers everywhere. Appreciate that, bro. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, all right, Tyler, you said that, did you have a favorite moment of it in particular that stood out to you? My favorite panel, I did. My favorite panel actually wasn't a trailer. There was a panel, this would be a good starting point. Anyway, there was a panel where they talked about all of their essentially the multiverse, but their movie universe and how it all works together, because there's been obviously a lot of confusion. There's so much continuity with Marvel and the MCU that I think with the MCU, they have obviously changed the game for movies, like all genres of movies, but certainly comic book movies, where everyone's like, oh, really? This is, you want to tell me this Pippi Longstockings movie, is this in continuity and in canon with the other 3 Pippi Longstockings movie? And I noticed this actor was in a Sherlock Holmes spinoff. What's up with that? So everybody wants to know what the connected stuff is. And they had a whole 30-minute discussion about the multiverse and about how it ties into the future of their movies and how their movies are going to be taking place, some in the same universe and some not. And so I think it's actually an amazing setup, and I really like the idea of what they're doing with it. I do think it might be a little too complicated for general audiences. So it'll be interesting for me to see how that plays out, because essentially what they're doing is the DCEU as we know it, which was everything from Man of Steel all the way through Birds of Prey, is all in continuity with each other and is all in continuity with one universe. And now, we'll see, we got the Batman and some other things coming out where in those films, it's going to take place in its own little continuity, much like the TV show to take place in their own continuity, but they are still going to play in the DCEU world. So that was my big fear, is that they're just abandoning that world and they were going to just do all one-off shoot, non-connected things. But they're actually going to do both, which I think is really the best of all worlds. We'll get to it when we get to the Batman trailer, but I love the idea that it's Batman Year 2, but we still have a Batman in the Affleck Batman or whatever they do outside of Flashpoint that
that is still going to exist in that DCEU intercontinuity movie universe where Aquaman 2 is going to take place, Black Adam's going to take place, hopefully Man of Steel 2, all of these films. So I think it's a really good idea. There's some complaints with that. People are like, well, this doesn't make sense that, Batman from the Batman, why has it got to be different than the other Batman films? And to that, DC's response is, well, you don't watch Batman the animated series and think like, oh, this must be the Batman in the Justice League movie.
Yeah.
Like this has to be the Batman that shows up in Batman vs. Superman. You accept it as just an alternate reality of Batman. And they're essentially just doing that with all their films.
On a cinematic scale. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think it's really smart. I think it will let them do things like the Joker when they want to. I think it will be fun to see like some of the new connected universes that maybe spawn. Like maybe they'll do a few movies in this new The Batman world.
Right. Yeah.
But it will be interesting to see. Tyler Chu makes a great point. If they're smart, it will be working towards one of the Crisis events 10 years down the road. I totally agree. I think that would be brilliant and would be a way for them to do this massive, almost Infinity War style film where they bring in all the Batman actors and all the stuff. Like it worked insanely well in the Arrow show, which I know you saw, Joseph, the big Crisis crossover.
Right.
And fans love
that. Just recently caught up with all of that, actually.
Fans love that. And one of the things they love the most, I know one of the things I was blown away with was seeing Ezra Miller's Flash on there.
Right. That was a hilarious scene.
Literally blown away by that. And they talked about how that moment was really the catalyst for them deciding what they were going to do with the future of the DCEU and the DC cinematic universe, because they said, that happened like a week before the episode was to air. It had already fully filmed.
Right, and they just threw it in,
They were just in a meeting, and they were like, wouldn't this be cool? And they called Ezra Miller, and Ezra Miller was like, this would be amazing. Let's do it instantly. I'm totally in. Don't even finish the sentence. And so they got together, they shot the scene, and we have now this awesome moment. And what was funny is like Greg Berlanti was like, yeah, all these people from the show were calling me and being like, dude, I filmed that episode with you. Did you keep this a secret from me? And he's like, no, like, it was a secret from everybody.
It was a secret from me too. It was a secret from me too. I didn't know.
So it worked out really cool. But then they said like that really was the eye-opening moment to them where it was like, okay, really we can still play in all these universes, have some crossover where we can. Like, I just thought it was really cool. And I really love that idea moving forward. My big fear was that they're just going to abandon the DCEU. And as someone who does love a continuity of films and was already upset over the animated universe getting a reboot after the newest DC animated film, that I wanted to hear they were going to keep doing it. And they are.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to jump to Wonder Woman in just a second here. But before we do that, I do want to say I agree with you on a lot of those points for sure. But I'm with Scott in the chat in that I wish that they had... he says we need to get over things being in continuity and just make good, fun stuff to watch. What they should have done from the beginning is, I think, what they're realizing now, that they jumped the gun in trying to go, okay, hey, look, we have a cinematic universe too, and should have focused on just the quality of movie first, because we've discussed it countless times on here, and it's beating a dead horse. We don't have to get into it anymore, but like, Marvel didn't really know that their grand plans down the road were ever going to actually like take place. They just needed to make a good, fun Iron Man movie.
Yeah. And organically so moving forward up and through the first Avengers film, they didn't even have like this grand cinematic universe. They never would have imagined like Infinity, like that's what Kevin Feige says. He never imagined like Infinity War and Endgame or anything like that.
They barely had much of a plan besides making a couple Iron Man movies, because of the fact that like they weren't sure they were going to be able to get around to doing Captain America, Thor, all of that. Once it worked out, they're like, okay, now we can plan for, there's an Avengers movie coming up. We can make Captain America, Thor, all that. So, all right. All that being said, let's jump over to Wonder Woman. Our producers tell me that we've got it ready. So let's go ahead and jump over to the old...
There's no producer.
Wonder Woman trailer.
This world is not yet ready for all that you will do. Your time will come, Diana. And everything will be different.
I like the riding the lightning.
Yeah, that's so rad, dude.
It was very cool. I like the music of this trailer too. Like it opens up with cinematic, but also that 80s synth sound is a good one.
So good.
Anything you want. Anything you dream of, you can have it.
Am I the only one who forgot Kristen Wiig was in this movie?
You look like you saw a ghost.
I think I am.
Diana, look at you. It's like not one day has passed.
I don't want to be like anyone. I want to be
There's
like
Kristen
the
Wiig.
apex predator.
You've always had everything, while people like me have had nothing.
Like I had to Google it after I watched the
Well,
trailer,
that's my
and it was
turn.
like, "Was that Kristen Wiig?" Question mark.
Get used to it.
I've never been one for rules. The answer is always more.
That's so cool.
The way I fly.
Gotta have some humor in it,
find
right?
us.
Gotta have some
Forgot
humor.
to tell you.
What?
Radar.
Will they shoot at us?
Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's the money shot that you love. This is the one you love.
What did you do?
Yo, I love that outfit that she has. Like the gold.
wings.
I'm all in on that. I don't know what it is, very 80s style, but that right there, I love it. It's like an archangel homage.
Yeah.
Cause she doesn't need the wings.
You know what? I'm ready to go.
I think we can do better.
Parachute pants?
Yeah.
Does everybody parachute
The
now?
parachute pants.
All right, so yeah, all right. Initial impressions.
You know, honestly, I was already super excited for the film, so this
Same.
didn't really do anything to. It didn't do anything to like make me more excited, but it didn't do anything to make me less excited either. I was just like, man, I just really want to watch this movie. Like,
Right.
I'm just really ready to see it because it's been teased for a while. Wonder Woman to me to this day, is the strongest of the DCEU films in my opinion. It's my favorite at
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
of the DCEU films. So.
And I'm curious to see, like, because you're currently trying to do a rewatch of DCU
Yeah.
movies. I'm curious to see what your opinion of it is after you go through more of them, and if you still like it as much, you know, what you get to from there. But I'm curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So all in all, you were already excited. I was already on board with it. I don't know if that like gold armor costume has any comic relevance at all. So I'm curious if
I have no clue too, honestly.
if anyone in the chat does know. I know.
Yeah.
You know,
If
let
it
us
doesn't, it's
know.
about to.
It's about to. They're gonna put it in there. They're gonna retcon
Tyler
that outfit.
Chu makes a great point that the trailer couldn't have been that good, as we'll see in just a little bit, because it didn't have Hallelujah in there.
Right.
It didn't have any Hallelujah in there.
It did not. It did not.
All
And
right,
we
so
are
let's talk about the big
we are
reveal,
definitely by the way, testing the limits of what we can get away with on the live stream by showing these trailers straight up. YouTube
Yeah, that's
did
it.
let
Have
me
no
know
fear.
in here. It's like we detected some copyrighted content. You might get in trouble. So bear with us. If for some reason we go down temporarily, it's just because we're breaking the wall. It's no
We're
big
breaking
deal.
every YouTube rule. So,
Okay, but yeah,
the big reveal,
Mm-hmm.
Cheetah.
right.
So that's caused a little bit of controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Some people love it. Some people hate it. Want to know what the chat thinks. What do you
Right.
think?
I think that DC, who has been so far Warner Brothers DC in the DCEU, has been kind of slow to learn on a few things, and I think that they were slow to learn here that they, out of all the movies they could have been copying, Cats was not the movie to emulate. You know what? I'm sure it'll look fine in context. It's just to kind of be caught off guard because you're in the trailer and all this
Yeah.
stuff is going on. And it's like, you kind of got like this, you got this Kristen Wiig who's like, kind of on the edge and like she's leaping through the air at Wonder Woman. It's all cool. Like she's kind of got this tattered costume going on. It's really neat looking. Now, all of a sudden out of nowhere, be shocked with kind of this, honestly, cat-looking figure, it caught me off guard. And I think that's the main thing about it is I don't know if I disliked it or liked it or not. It just I feel like they might be like CGIing. They're walking the fine line of what you can or should do with CGI, similar to what the movie Cats had to deal with.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on it, though? Scott says he's fine with it because she's supposed to look like a cheetah, and I get that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think people would be like, ooh, that looked all right. That looked pretty good if Cats had not come out. But Cats was just so terrible. So. It was just such a bomb of a film. Right. It was so weird that I think people have a bad taste in their mouth. But, like, how are you going to do a live-action cat character?
Right. Yeah, like, I mean, it's not. We're not given much of an option, you know.
Like, I mean, if they wanted to do that, like, the only thing they could have possibly done more is put more fur on her.
Right.
Like coarser fur that was longer. That's the only thing I could possibly think of because, like, you can't help but do it in the way they did it. Like, I don't know. I don't think they had much choice. I don't think they really. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's great.
It's not the best look at it either. We actually do have our producers did get a still shot of the suit that I think that we need to go ahead and look at it. So let's go ahead and bring it up. Let's bring it up. The producers got it. It's a leaked still frame of the suit. I think it's worth looking at. So let's go ahead and take a look. There it is. Yeah, exactly. So it's wow. Yeah, I know. That's it.
I'm sorry.
I just don't know what to think.
Fam Jam. I'm sorry. Sorry, Fam Jam. I can't control this. I have no say in anything that happens.
Oh man.
I'm super excited about the Wonder Woman film.
Yeah, I'm into it. So, I'm curious how we're gonna have the return of Chris Pine.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like maybe they're just gonna like just make him.
Yeah.
Like appear. Like it's like the person's like, you can have anything you ever wanted, and she's like, well, I want him, and then he's here. Like I don't know. It will be interesting to see how that all comes to be.
Check Graham's comment in the chat because it's a good one. It's a good.
The final trailer for Batman Superman shows Wonder Woman Doomsday, and you know what? I 100% agree, and I was actually about to say that very thing about Wonder Woman. Was
sure you are
the biggest problem I had with Batman versus Superman was they showed that Wonder Woman to sell tickets. If they had not shown that in the trailer and I had seen that in theaters, I would have lost my mind at that part. Like if that was just like a secret and they had not talked about it at all, that it wouldn't have redeemed the film for me, but it would have made me. It would have been something the film needed, which was a standout moment that they didn't really have. And so I can honestly say, like, I would have lost my mind. Instead, I was like, well, when's Wonder Woman going to be here? She's in the trailer. She really only going to be in the last 15 minutes of the film. Like,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So
it was a strange marketing decision, but that's the world we live in. That's why a lot of times, like, honestly, I don't really like watching trailers that much. Like if I don't have to, because they either have a bunch of stuff in it that isn't going to show up, or they have a bunch of stuff in it that they should not have revealed, and they've given too much away. That's been a long time trailer issue for a long,
Yeah, it is. Where you're like, okay, well, I've seen the whole movie, and it will be interesting to see because if I had to bet money, I would say like that cheetah reveal will probably happen 3/4 of the way through the film. Like that probably won't happen. It's not like it's going to be in the first 30 minutes. So
right,
I do agree that may have been a cooler reveal in the film in the theater than in the trailer. So I don't know. I agree with Tyler that Gal Gadot was the best thing in Batman vs Superman. It's been up on my list to watch for like a week, and I was like super sick and just laid in the bed for like 4 or 5 days, and I still couldn't bring myself to rewatch it.
Yeah. That scene in the Wonder Woman trailer gave us her in the gold armor, which Scott did text me a picture of it from the comics. I don't know what the armor's called, but it is in the comics.
Oh, cool. Can you hold that picture of your phone just up to the screen so I can see it?
Yeah,
well,
it's gonna.
The screen share is messing up right now, so
okay, that's fine. I'm gonna do it anyway. It's looking great. It's very, very clear and visible. It's very good.
I dig it.
It's very good.
No, I see it. Perfect. Oh, when you tilted the phone back, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's very clear and visible. That's it right
you
there.
hold it just right there. Those eyes, especially those blurry black eyes, beautiful, beautiful.
My blurry back eyes. So it's in there. They showed us the costume. They showed us Cheetah right off the bat, making you think, and they showed us Diana saying, "Oh, what have you done?" Making us think, or making me think that is very towards the end of the movie, much later than the last 3/4 even, like climax of the movie type of reveal, possibly. Which
disappointment, if so.
Yep. So, all right, which one do you want to look at next, Tyler? Which one do you want to get copyright infringement banned on next?
Yeah, let's do it. Next, let's do the Suicide Squad.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even pull that one up.
Okay, let's do.
Sorry.
Let's do the Snyder Justice League.
Okay, I pulled up Gotham Knights and forgot about the Suicide Squad.
It's okay.
So we can we can find it later.
Yeah, let's do Snyder Justice League.
All right, Snyder Justice League.
Because I know people are going to have a lot to say about this. I got a lot to say about this.
This is the one that's going to be the divisive one.
This is
the one you tuned in for. This is the moneymaker right here. By that I mean this is the one that's going to get us banned on YouTube for copyright infringement. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, long last, the Snyder Cut. Produced by Max.
Now I've heard there was a secret chord that David played.
Dark Side.
And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The Leonard Cohen version of Hallelujah is the worst version of Hallelujah. I don't care that he wrote the song. It's the worst one.
It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah.
We're actually going to get copyright banned just for making fun of Leonard Cohen, I think. His ghost is going to come after us.
There's Iris West.
Is it going to be Iris?
I couldn't feel
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
so I tried to tell her.
I don't know.
Told the truth. I didn't come to fool you. And even though it all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord.
Oh, man. Cyborg's dead. I love the bit at the end with Flash. Him running on whatever that is. Hallelujah.
Hashtag the Snyder Cut.
This guy's probably fought hundreds of thousands of other super beings on the other planets he's destroyed, right? And
Baptin America gives a nice little speech.
How many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us. Not us united.
Baptin America, is that what you just called him? Pretty good. Pretty good. That was it. That was it. All right.
That was it. So,
first of all, so the Snyder Cut is 37 hours long. Right.
Yeah, it's 4 1-hour-ish episodes of a show.
Yep. Yep. So it seems like the chat is pretty much on board with saying that they're not feeling it. All right. What's your reaction, Tyler? Are you feeling
Here's
it?
what I love about the Snyder Cut.
Okay.
I love the fact that it exists. Like, I don't care if it's good or bad. I love the fact that it exists because I think it sends a message to executives, hopefully, that stop interfering in these movies. Stop dipping your hand in. Like, Zack Snyder notoriously talks about how he fought to get the black suit in the film because it's a big part of the comics, and like he really wanted to do it. It was a part of his vision, and the executives were like, "Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, Superman suit's red and blue, right?"
And we all know that the executives,
yeah,
that the Warner Brothers executives were already doing a great job with their guiding principles and where they were going with the whole thing. They were already doing well.
They already knew. So I hope that the fact that it exists, one, shows the power of the fans. Like, hey, if you guys do demand something enough, like a studio will do it, which I think is really cool. And two, I hope it sends a clear message to the executives, like, hey, don't mess with these movies. Like, if the director has a vision and it's something you may not understand, like, give it a go. So it will be interesting to me to see how that goes. So I love the Snyder Cut for that aspect.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
The film itself, like Justice League, the theatrical release, to me, left me with the same feeling as Age of Ultron, which was, okay. That was a movie I saw.
Needed more James Spader. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think all movies need a little bit more James Spader in them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Makes
sense.
It
wasn't a bad film. Justice League wasn't a bad film. It just wasn't a good film. Like, it just left me going, okay. So I don't think it's going to be worse. I don't think it can be worse than that because it really committed the number one sin of a film, which is just boredom.
Right.
And so I don't think it could be worse than that.
So do you think 4 hours is going to help?
I mean,
it's divided up, so that's good.
I'm all in to watch it. I'm excited to see a vision that matched the filming style.
Yeah.
To be able to judge the movie for what it is intended to be, and then decide for myself.
Sure.
As far as like the shots go, like people are like, "Oh, Dark Side looks terrible." I'm like, I'm not going to judge it based off of like one shot. Like it's not even a full like scene. I've seen people say like, well, like I think Scott mentioned this, like it just looks like alternate takes. Like maybe it's just going to be a bunch of alternate takes. Well, yeah, I imagine it will be.
Yeah.
Because like when you think about it, they didn't like the film was shot in 2016. It's not like they got the crew together and shot more shots. So the only thing they can do is take alternate takes, scenes that got cut from the film, or CG stuff. So I imagine there will be like a bunch of CG'd alternate horrible future take. Mm-hmm. And maybe we'll have like some really cool Green Lanterns show up or some stuff like that as like filler. That would be an idea and a way to take it.
Yeah. So,
but I don't know how it will. I don't think you can't change the fundamental core of the film. I don't think because it does exist. Like the overall premise.
Okay, but still, when the film got done, what was the reaction? The reaction was, oh, you could tell that it was supposed to be about Darkseid.
Yeah, for sure.
The core, they're not having to change the core of the film because the core of the film is what was changed in the theatrical release, So they're getting back to the core of it, I think. And that's what I think at least.
Are you excited?
Okay, Raleigh's here so we can actually start.
Oh, thank goodness.
So welcome to this episode of Super Squad D, where tonight the D stands for
DC FanDome.
All right, so am I excited about the Snyder Cut? I mean, excited's not the word. I'm not excited about it mostly because I don't want to have to like sign up for HBO Max. Like I don't want to have to grab another streaming service. I don't even care if I can get like a free trial and watch it. I just don't want to have to sign up for anything else and get it. Like I'm an old man. I'm a crotchety old guy. I mess with computers all day for a living. I want to come home and just not think about computers. Okay. But as a whole, okay, if I'm reacting to just the trailer, it's not a compelling trailer because
I agree.
Worst version of Hallelujah. All right. And we got a lot of chat to catch up on because there's a lot of good things being said. So we'll catch up on that in a minute. But worst version of Hallelujah. B, it's clearly just trying to grab a bunch of things that are different to show people, hey, look, we did it. So like,
we did it.
All of this is going to fit better in context.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We don't have the context for it right now. I think that's one of the issues.
But Steppenwolf looked a lot better, right?
I have already forgotten what he looked like to begin with.
He was really bad to begin with. He does look a lot better now.
Cool.
Like, and I don't know if that's just a function of fans' complaints, and they're like, "Oh, we got a second shot at this."
Or like if they had a chance to like actually put in a Steppenwolf like design instead of just painting over what was supposed to be Darkseid. Oh, we messed. Hold on, I'm just all right. I don't know. Add that. Okay. So
what if they replaced Steppenwolf with Darkseid? Like they literally took every part of Steppenwolf out of the film, and it was just Darkseid the whole time.
Pasted Darkseid on. Yeah, exactly. Just pasted Darkseid on top. It was the same lines. It was the same voice. Everything.
Same line. Just totally Darkseid.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
The Snyder cut is every character has a mustache on.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, somebody was telling me that like they were like, Mustache Superman is going to go down as one of like the most obscure but poignant references to this generation of filmmaking.
Yeah.
And comics. In like 30 years, we're going to be like, well, let me tell you, Sonny. Because that's what I'm going to sound like when I'm 65. And let me tell you, Sonny, about the time Superman had a mustache, but nobody could tell. Oh, Grandpa, you're so funny. Let me go get your Bengay, rub it on your back. Okay.
I didn't like any direction that took. I'm just going to be honest with you. It wasn't something I wanted you to keep going with. That was one of those jokes that should have ended early. You did not need to drag it out.
I didn't know it was going either, honestly. I was with you to the end. Why is he doing this? I don't know.
Yeah,
but he
here
just
we
can't.
are. Yeah, here we are. All right,
So
let's look at a couple of chat. I want to talk about a little bit in the chat, and then I want to say one more thing about it, if that's okay. But let's look at some of the chat here. First of all, a lot of talk of the show episodes. I watched the first season of episodes, and then I started the second season, and was like, I don't care about watching this anymore. And I stopped, and I don't know, maybe I should have kept going. I'm
Episodes
sorry.
is like a poor man's pilot. I mean, I've seen it. It's just not that great.
It's a great joke that the two of us will understand. So I apologize to Graham and Tyler C. about executives, but you're right. Or about episodes. You're right. That's what executives do. Studios. You got to be on page, You got to be on the same page as what everyone involved has to be on the same page. And we see it DC. We see it maybe with Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars. We see it in a lot of areas. So, all right. Graham saying the theatrical cut would have been a lot better if they delayed it and fixed the CGI. Yeah, I mean, it's a great point. Like, that was a moment in which they should have taken their time, but it was right before it started to become a little bit more kosher, I think, for movies to say, hey, you know what?
More time.
We need more time. That's something in recent years we've seen more do that. Yeah,
totally
exactly. I think that was all a ploy. I don't think they were ever going to release that version of
never
Sonic.
going to do it like that. It was all binge force.
Yeah, it's all it was. That's all it was. All right, Tyler, what do you think of what Michael Allen has to say here?
Yeah, so Michael says that he's a film director, and he says that.
He says it.
That was it. He just says he's a film director.
He said it.
Have you ever physically seen him direct a film? Because I haven't.
I'm scrolling through the chat. He said it 58 times throughout the chat. He just keeps saying that phrase over and over again. He won't stop saying it.
No, he's a film director, and he was talking about how just like sometimes you just have to accept you make a bad movie. Like it does happen, and I agree definitely that Zack Snyder does not let things go or admit fault. He doubles down, doubles down hard.
Yep.
Over this past weekend, he was like, someone was like, yeah, it didn't really look good. And he's like, oh yeah, well, guess what? My films are for freaking grown-ups.
Right.
And people were like, what? You're okay,
like,
this movie's a film for grown-ups? Is it?
Really?
All right.
Now, what I am curious, though, Michael, when you say he just needs to move on, do you mean Snyder? Because Snyder didn't make the first movie, Like, he kind of made part of it, and Joss Whedon kind of made part of it, and,
It's weird.
So it's a weird thing, And so I think this is his attempt to at least try to say,
this is what I would have done.
Like, I can say I made this movie. And yeah, he's always going to double down on it. So.
We didn't get some hate for this. We didn't get some hate for this film. But, like, I don't really blame him. I mean, we didn't get to plan out any of the shots.
Right.
Like, he showed up, and they're like, oh, hey, someone else made a movie. Can you figure out what they might have done with it? And you're like, okay. All right. So, not really his fault.
Yeah, Snyder just makes something that we're, like, dude is a great director. He needs to make something that we look at. But that's kind of like people loved 300 when it came out. I remember being in college and people raved about 300.
Yeah, I remember one time they kicked that one dude in the hole, and then it was like a thing for a while. Yeah, I remember.
I don't think you can say kicked that dude in the hole and us not get an explicit tag.
I regret everything about that trailer. So I'd like to take it back. Very sorry. I'd like to issue an apology to all the children watching our stream and to the children's parents.
So I don't know.
That was not a kosher comment, and I very much appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I never. The thing is, I didn't dislike 300. I didn't love 300. I never cared about 300. It was not one of those movies that I watched and I was like, yeah. Like all of my friends in college.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah. We actually, when I was in college, we made a parody version of it that might exist on YouTube somewhere, and I might be able to find it sometime. That was called 3.00, and it was about three soldiers, and in it, we green screened it poorly so that my head got chopped off, and it was really great.
Awesome.
I'll see if I can find it. Yeah.
Sounds awesome. Raleigh says he's never made a bad film, and I agree. I've never once seen a bad Raleigh film. Never. Never once seen a film. Stan says Todd that I smell, and I agree and don't know how he knows that. And now I'm a little concerned.
Look behind you! the chat is coming from inside the house.
Taylor, so what do you think about Taylor's comments?
Where is he? There he is. I don't like to hate on Snyder. I just don't trust his vision or agree that superheroes need to kill to be relevant. Is that something he said? Because I don't keep up with him enough to know if that's something he said. And if it's something he said, then yeah, I don't really agree either. Superman and Batman are at their core non-lethal and will always find another way. I didn't care at all about, or I didn't mind at all Batman killing in Batman vs Superman or whatever, because it was supposed to be the version of Batman. It was supposed to be kind of based on the comic series where Batman was like overly cynical and had like given up on his campaign and given up on, hope. And so now him like brutally like killing everyone around was weird.
Yeah.
But like I didn't mind the killing as much because it wasn't supposed to be like canon Batman. Now at the time, we hadn't talked much about the multiverse as a concept in the DCEU. Now it's kind of out there on the table as like, yeah, that's something we want to do, and so like we can write that sort of stuff off. And Robert Pattinson,
I hated it originally. Hated it. When I left the theater, I was like, this is just garbage. It's not #not my Batman. I was the one who started that, pretty sure.
Yep. You've said that about every representation of Batman in media since Batman the Animated Series.
Because there's never made a good one. There's never been one that's my Batman. I'll let you know when we get to it.
You time traveled back to 66 just to make fun of that one.
Just to say, nope, #not my Batman. But I agree that like, well, so it didn't, but now like with the multiverse, and I can accept that like Superman and this Batman, it's more of like an ultimate universe type of version of these characters, and they're different. And I can accept it in this medium, but I do agree that it's like a fundamental concept about superhero and filmmaking that like, you don't have to make something dark and edgy to make it good. And it sure seems like a lot of filmmakers, Snyder included, feel like you have to do that.
Right.
So while it doesn't really bother me or take away from it, because these aren't the characters that I love. Right. But I can still enjoy that and enjoy the film. It also makes me know that like, yeah, this is a disappointment because this is an outlook and a view that a lot of modern filmmakers have. And it would be nice for them to like, I just once would release like a PG version of Superman that's like super inspiring and like just this amazing animated film. It would be awesome. And I think you can look at like Spider-Verse and see that it can be done really well. And they didn't have to make that gritty or dark to make it like relatable and real world. And it was awesome.
Man, Omnidog is dropping some opinions in the chat right now. Dropping some strong opinions that I feel like you won't fully agree with, having just rewatched Man of Steel as well.
That's mostly because I wanted to make my own game, which I think we talked about this, right? Kill Stuff. You remember that game?
Yeah, Kill Stuff was a great idea.
It was just like a big tower, and just you just killed stuff and just blow stuff up.
It was loosely based off of Die Hard, the arcade game.
Yeah.
If anyone is curious about this was actually an idea Tyler and I had like a decade ago. We just thought of it.
Longer. It was just called Kill Stuff. Great name for a game.
That was it. And it was basically a giant tower. It was a first-person shooter, kind of based on like the look and feel of Die Hard, the arcade game. And you just ran around and just killed stuff. There was no plot. You just kind of blew stuff up, killed stuff. So anyway, Zack Snyder stole our idea and turned it into his entire career.
Yeah, it's very offensive. I also like that Graham said that children aren't watching the stream because this is a stream for adults. That's true.
Yes.
We're
Well
like
played.
Zack Snyder in
Well
this.
played. Well played. I want to say one thing though that has kind of annoyed me. Tyler, can I testify for a second here?
Brother Craven.
Can I testify for a second?
Craven, testify in here, please, sir.
What I don't get though,
What don't you get?
I don't get the fact
You
that
don't get it?
Justice League comes out, right?
Mhm.
Theatrical
It
release
came out.
comes out a while back, and it gets released, and people look at it and they're like, "Oh man, you could just see the ways in which it's different than what Zack Snyder originally intended."
It's
You know,
different.
let's start a campaign where we demand to see the Snyder cut, and we demand to see the Snyder cut, and we demand to see the Snyder cut. Then
Yeah.
the trailer for the Snyder cut comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly everyone's going, yeah, no, I'm glad this never came out. And acting like y'all all weren't just like weeks ago talking about the Snyder Cut. Like, why are you... It's like the fact that if you ask anyone today in 2020, if they ever listened to and enjoyed the music of Creed back in the 90s, early 2000s, they're going to say, absolutely not. It's Creed. They're lying.
Yeah, because we were all like, with arms wide open.
You know? Everyone listened to Creed at some point.
Everyone loves Scott Stapp.
In the history of... In all of human history, everyone went through a Dave Matthews phase at some point. They will not admit it now. They will not.
Yeah.
But everyone did it. And everyone who watched Justice League...
So good. No,
everyone who watched
agree.
Justice League said they wanted the Snyder Cut. And now that the trailers come out, and I don't like the trailer. I think the trailer doesn't do anything for it. I think
it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I think the product's going to be better than the trailer. But anyone who watched the trailer and instantly says, I never asked for this, is lying. You're all liars. We're all liars. Let's not act like any of us are not dirty, dirty liars. That's it. That was the
testification, bro. That was some good testification. Testify.
Scott, you once signed a contract with me one day at lunch that said that you would openly demand the Snyder Cut in everything.
I'd like to say that's a lie, but I notarized it. So
yeah, exactly. So Scott, you're a liar. Omnidog, you're a liar. Tyler Chu, you're a liar. All of you are liars. You're just liars. It's okay. We're all liars, but you're liars.
I know that I demanded the Snyder Cut as a part of my home buying agreement. When I bought my house, it was in my contract. I was like, look, I'll buy this house, but I need everybody to know where I stand on the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, exactly.
Release the blunt electric cut. How could there be a blunt electric cut? Electra's a perfect film. I couldn't do anything to make that film better.
If it's already flawless, why would you change it?
Perfect,
Exactly.
10 out of 10.
Exactly.
Jennifer Gardner. you have my heart. I mean, I married a woman named Jennifer just because of the Electra film.
Just because of that. I married a woman named Ellie just because of my love of Jurassic Park. There you go.
I really thought you were going to say Electra.
Electra, exactly. Well, that's her middle name. Extra.
It felt right. Okay, so let's move on to the thing that everybody agreed was awesome.
Okay.
Like the one thing that everybody, again, because fans are the worst and the best. But like, all right, so
No
like let's
question.
go back to 2015, okay?
Especially Creed fans.
Creed
Which
fans
we all
are the worst.
we
We're
all
the
are.
worst, dude. So let's go back to 2015 and let's talk about Ben Affleck is announced as Batman. And you know what? No. Let's go back to 2007 or 8. Maybe no. What was it? 2005? When did Batman Begins come out? When did Batman Begins come out?
I couldn't grow a beard during any of those years.
That's
so
true.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't remember them.
Yeah. They announced Heath Ledger's the Joker. Everybody, myself included, was like, this is terrible. This is terrible. This would be horrible. I'll hate it. Heath Ledger's the heartthrob.
We threw down our copies of Human Clay by Creed out of anger and
We
said,
did.
no.
We just threw them straight down. We were like, not anymore. We played Bullet to Blue Sky, and we all thought it was a Creed original song because we were just so upset over the fact that Heath Ledger was cast. Then he comes out.
Timeout.
Perfect.
Timeout.
Yeah.
Timeout. Did Creed do a cover version of Bullet the Blue Sky?
Oh, it's amazing. Have you never heard it, dude?
Never have. I'm looking it up.
Pull it up right now. No, right now. Pull it up on stream right now. We've already broken every copyright rule. What does it matter? While you're looking this up, so we so then 2015 they announced Ben Affleck as Batman. Again, everybody up in arms. Even I was like, I don't think that's gonna be a good cast. He's not gonna do a good job. Turns out he was awesome. So there was a point to this. I've forgotten where I was going with it or what the point was, but people are real judgy about the kid from Twilight. It had something to do with that.
But no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yes.
And I was totally on board with the kid from Twilight when they announced it because I was like, he's going to be great because all these other guys were great and I didn't think they were going to be. So let's go the other direction with it.
It just has to be. And in between all of that, Robert Pattinson shown up in all these. Yeah. He's doing. I was talking to my wife about this, but he's doing the
DiCaprio.
Yeah, DiCaprio's a good one. I was going to say Daniel Radcliffe as well.
Yeah.
He's doing the Daniel Radcliffe thing of I just made all the money I'll ever have to make. I'm going to just do a lot of really weird roles to turn myself into a serious actor. Next thing you know, I'm going to show back up and ta-da. So
yeah. Totally.
Were you excited about Eisenberg, Luther? I'm not excited about anything. Jesse Eisenberg touches.
I really don't like him. I've never enjoyed him in anything.
That is one.
Yeah, I'm with you. And there's no redeeming that. All right, let's play Bullets Blue Sky.
I'll take a Creed. I'll take a Creed reunion before I ever take Jesse Eisenberg in anything. And David Codd's, he gets it. Titan AE with a higher absolute truth. I'm going to let you know, Tyler, I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
What?
You can't see the side of the screen here, but POD did a cover of Bullet the Blue Sky. There's the video from My Sacrifice. I'm pretty sure they didn't.
All right. Well, just play the POD version. It's really good.
I'm not going to do that.
All right, let's just watch the Batman trailer.
Let's watch the Batman trailer instead.
I'm so disappointed.
Man. Oh, man. I can't get over this. Oh, I just can't. So, as we go into the Batman trailer here, I think it's interesting you pointed out that everyone thought that superhero movies had to go in a more serious direction. A lot of that because of the serious, non-campy, realistic tone that Christopher Nolan set in the Batman movies. Some movies that you are not a huge fan of, but you're a big fan of this one. Let's watch this trailer and then let's discuss.
Let's do it. This intro is amazing. Wait. Can you start over again? Just start over really quick. This is one thing that I just think is so good. The jump cut to the tape. That's a nice touch.
Details, bruh. Details.
It's a real echoey room, I noticed.
Great acoustics.
From your secret friend.
Who's Creed?
This is Creed underneath the bridge. So good. People were upset about Batman's short cape.
I know. Just me and you. Any of this mean anything to you?
More upset at him wasting so much duct tape, man.
I mean, he looks awesome, though, Batman does.
That was Batman? The old fat guy?
You're becoming quite a celebrity.
Okay, this is going to blow you away. Get ready to pause it.
Why is he writing to you?
Now. Oh, we missed it.
What was I supposed to pause?
Please do not lie.
You want me to rewind? I'll rewind.
Yeah, rewind. Go back to it.
All right, we're jumping back.
Why is he writing to you?
It's Colin Farrell. It's the old guy in the that guy. Yep.
Nah, man, that's Ben Affleck. That's Daredevil.
Oh, my bad.
You've seen that movie. You're a huge Elektra fan. You're a huge Elektra fan. You should know that's Daredevil.
Dude, how crazy is it that that was Colin Farrell?
Please do not lie. What is the price?
I'm gonna have to get you to explain that to me.
Blind eye.
The hell are you supposed to be?
It's the Snyder cut. That's what he said. He said, "I'm the Snyder cut."
Whoa! This guy's crazy.
You're part of this too. How am I part?
So,
You'll see.
one, I love the date. I love the date of the film because it's like, when will it come out? We don't know.
Right.
With pandemic, we got no clue.
Why
So that was Colin Farrell.
why was Kylo Ren talking at the end of there? We don't know.
So that was Colin Farrell at that one spot in the trailer. In the rain, the old-looking guy with a ton of prosthetics.
Okay, so not where you told me to pause.
It was like right before that. It was like a frame before that.
That makes more sense now because you told me to pause, and you're like, "Hey, hit pause," and I hit pause, and on my end, it was clearly just Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
in the back. I was like,
so I had no clue Colin Farrell was in this till Taylor told me, and then I went back and looked at it, and I was like, I watched the trailer like 3 times, and I'm like, I don't know where he is. So then I Googled it, and I was like, that's Colin Farrell, and apparently he just has like a ton of prosthetics on. It looked awesome as the thing.
Could have just gotten fat.
Yeah, it was good. So
yeah, tell me. Here's what I want to know from you.
okay,
You saw this. You got hyped.
super
You
hype.
got so hyped. Tell
so
me
hype.
what makes this different than Nolan Batman to you.
Well, I've seen Nolan Batman, and I haven't seen this film. So
Okay,
this
that
film
makes
still
sense.
represents a lot of possibility and potential to me. I love that they're taking the Riddler seriously. I love that the Batman suit looks amazing. And that I love the era that it takes place for the character of Batman. It very well may disappoint me as a film. But just from the trailer, comparing it to what I know we got in the Nolan films, which was a version of Batman that I just didn't really connect to or resonate with because I felt like he was a really stripped down version of the character. He was I always felt like he was a rich guy who read a Batman comic and was like, I could try that. Let's go for that. But like he didn't have any of the real core characteristics and qualities that Batman has. He had some good fighting, but like the detective aspect of it was almost totally thrown out the window.
Sure.
And he relied a lot on military gear. I never felt like his fighting was really awesome Batman style. And that was partially due to Christopher Nolan's filmmaking style, where he showed, like, I don't know if you remember the fights in those films are just like super chaotic camera work. And they're meant to make you feel like you're in the fight. But like when I left the fight, I was like, I don't know what happened. Did I just throw up everywhere?
Movie, yeah.
Like I couldn't follow it. Whereas in this, like you get a really clear picture of like Batman is super skilled from the Joker gang. Can you pull back up the trailer 1 second, go to one specific frame? It's right. It's right after he beats that dude, the Joker gang guy, which I wonder if it is the Joker gang guy. I feel like it is, and the Joker is going to have already taken place in this world, which would be really awesome.
I mean, if we just take a look at like the guy real quick.
All right, so like
it's a pretty Joker look. So
I mean, it's a Joker. Like it's a Joker gang. It has to be a Joker gang, right? Like there's no way it's not. Okay, so can you go to like right after he's on the ground and he gets beat up, and then they cut back to those guys right there, there. Look at the guy on the right. He's like
Cyborg,
third over. He's so sad and afraid. Look at his eyes. Like when I watched the trailer, I was like, dude, this guy's face is just like he's devastated at this part. Like he's crying a little bit.
My boss got beat up. Oh man, I'm not over.
Like there was one guy who was like taking a picture with his phone. He's like, "Oh, look at this," and the other guy's like, "That was rad." And this guy's like crying because he's like, "This is gonna be me. This is gonna be me. I'm gonna have everything dislocated from me."
Oh man. Okay, so I like, what Scott's a huge Riddler fan, by the way.
Yeah.
I like the fact, it's Riddler, it's serious Riddler, it's serial killer Riddler. Paul Dano is, I mean, the one negative here is that the casting of like Paul Dano, that for sure is, again, and every villain in any movie in general, but especially comic book movie these days, is trying to copy Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah, let's hope he does something different.
It was so successful, which is, all right, Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor, for example.
Yeah.
It just is how, like, people are writing villains because they're like, that worked. Let's do that with this. Paul Dano's great, so I think he can do great stuff with it. I hope that they're not writing another Joker or Heath Ledger Joker,
Yeah. He does kind of look like the character of Hush from the comic books, like his outfit in that one scene did. So that would be interesting to see if they're combining the two for this film or if it's going to be his own character. I'm here for it though because it's like a totally different universe.
Sure.
I really think Catwoman looks awesome. Like I've seen some other photos of her in like her full costume.
We got one of those. Hold up. There it is. We got it right there.
Good she looks right there, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot in it that I like, but like I don't have as strong of a reaction maybe to it as you do because like I look at it and I don't necessarily see like what it's doing that's necessarily that different than the Nolan.
He said, "I am vengeance, dude," which I saw somebody being like, he should have said, "I'm Batman." That's his thing.
Mm-hmm.
I felt it. I like his voice. I felt like it was different, but also not too much of like, "Oh, I'm Batman. I'm Batman."
Yeah. He's not trying to disguise his voice. He's just trying to sound more serious, intimidating.
More intimidating. Now, the one thing that I will say is it's interesting that Bruce Wayne has always been the mask for Batman. Like Batman is who he is. Bruce Wayne is who he pretends to be. And there's a case to be made that for a lot of the DC heroes. Like Superman, Clark Kent's the mask. So it's interesting though that like, he's supposed to be like this guy that you would look at and be like, there's no way that guy could be Batman. I mean, he's just drunk, a playboy. There's no way. And like in this film, I'm like, people are like, oh man, this guy showed up. He's like super deranged and he's been beating the crap out of criminals. Like any idea who it could be? And you're like, well, I mean, he'd probably need a lot of money. And dude, that Bruce Wayne kid is super deranged looking. Look at his face and his emo hair.
Look how emo he is.
He's wearing black eye makeup. Like it's probably Batman. Go talk to him first. I don't think it would be hard for me to figure out that kid was Batman.
Probably not. I'm excited about one thing. I had to look it up right here, but Robert Pattinson is over 6 feet tall. That rarely happens. Rarely happens for Batman actors. Affleck being the only one that. How tall is Affleck? You know off the top of your head? Yeah, he's 6'4". You got it. You got it right.
Yeah, I know my Batfleck. Okay, that wasn't a complete random wild guess that I had no clue when I said.
So like. We still don't ever have like the physically intimidating Batman outside of Ben Affleck because he is 6'4" and
he was thick in that film, dude.
Like 3 C's on the word thick, absolutely.
Yes, and then a K.
Yeah, and then well, it was 1 C, 1 K. It was spelled normal. It was just spelled normally.
It was just thick, I think.
It was 1 C. It was spelled Creed. It was Creed.
Well, as long as there wasn't 3 Ks, it's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I look at it and I'm like, I'm into it. I'm not like dogging on the trailer. And there's the fact that it's made with, like 25% of the movie that has been filmed, Graham, I think, mentioned that it's crazy that the trailer was scraped together with that footage.
That is nuts. It is an awesome trailer, and it feels super well put together, and only 25% of the movie has been filmed.
Yeah. And that's what I'm most curious about. This is one of those trailers where I look at it and I'm like, it doesn't actually get me excited because I just don't actually know how much of this is going to translate into what's coming. Yeah. Because I look at it and I'm like, it doesn't tell me anything different. He's super violent towards Joker gang guy. Okay, Christian Bale Batman was brutal at times, It's like, there's many aspects of it that I don't differentiate it to me yet. But then again, let us never forget, I am not the comics guy out of the two of us.
It's true.
That's you. So you're going to naturally have.
Super short cape?
Huh?
You notice the super short cape?
Oh. I did. Now it's all I can see. You know.
Now it's all I can think about. I'm gonna go to sleep thinking about this stupid cape and how they need to extend it.
Stupid cape. Yeah, I'm not the comics guy. I'm not really like much of a reacting guy either. It's taken me a few days to even have an opinion on this.
Your reaction trailer was the best live reaction I've ever seen.
It's very true. But I'm with you, M. Scotter, as well. He says he does wish. I do wish Riddler was doing a Bane voice as opposed to the Kylo Ren voice that he's doing. So, I'm assuming that was a joke, by the way, about the Riddler. Yeah. So, okay.
All in all, I'd say DC FanDome was pretty great, and I'm pretty into it. Suicide Squad. I wish we had the trailer for the game trailer, which was I felt like going to be better than the movie trailer.
Most anything could be better than that, I feel like.
But
I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll just tell Tyler that he needs to make a 5-minute video for the channel of him talking about that trailer. That way we know it'll get done.
Yeah, I'm all over that, dude. I'll put it on the list right after the Spider-Man costumes.
Coming soon. Top 5 Spider-Man costumes. But yeah, all right. So, FanDome as a whole, big success. I like the Batman trailer. Wonder Woman probably showed too much, but I'm still hyped on it. You know, Snyder Cut, I'm intrigued. I won't say there's anything out of here that I look at and I'm just like, woo, giddy. But yeah, I'm into it all, especially because I just need some entertainment. It's we just need something.
2020's been a long year.
Give me a reason to leave the house. I mean, in general, it'd be great.
At this point.
So yeah, anything at all. So we've been chatting now for about an hour. So I feel like we would lose all momentum if we tried to keep going.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm about to crash.
Exactly. So we will have to sadly cut things short. But there was so much that we didn't get into. We didn't get a chance to talk about Gotham Knights. We didn't get a chance to talk about Suicide Squad. We didn't get a chance to talk about a lot of other stuff. So I don't know. Maybe we can work out another episode out of this.
There's going to be upcoming games. You know, I know we did talk about one thing we really wanted to do, which was a little bit controversial. We're going to do a head-to-head matchup of head-to-head of the DCEU, the MCU, and the Fox X-Men universe. And we're going to actually rate every single film on a scale of 1 to 10, get an average for that universe, and see how it compares to each one.
So that's going to be purely subjective series that we do, where we just talk about our own reviews, but it's a good way of kind of critiquing, you know, what we remember, what we recall about it.
Yep. So it should be fun. We're going to start with the DC films because everybody got opinions on those.
You are actively crashing in front of us. I love it so much.
That's true. Yeah,
but
Kevin, my gamer chair is amazing, and it's Secret Lab, and you should totally buy one. It's the best purchase I've ever made. Joseph has one too.
I have the large human.
You have the Titan edition, right?
I do have the Titan.
I've got like the boy child edition where it's like, are you old enough to sit in the front seat? Are you not sure?
I've got the 6'3" fat lard version of the Secret Lab chair right here. So, all right, good talk for the evening. I feel like we're gonna have to do like a FanDome Part 2, something, either a live stream or another small video talking about the video games that we didn't even get to discuss. This was
there
just
was some
movies.
good ones. There was good ones.
There's was some good ones. So we'll wrap it up for tonight. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll join you again real soon. Another stream, another video, another lifetime. Something is that? What is that? A Popeye face? That's a pretty good Popeye face.
Yeah. Huh. Where's me spinach, Hardee's?